So this one I'm going to label pandemic, because I had this one just prior to everything happening and really me taking notice of what was going on. This must have been around March, I believe, when I had this one. It stuck with me because it was so intense. But I start off, I'm on a country type road. It's daytime, the weather is nice. I'm on a bike, an older bike. It's got the straight handles with a little curve at the end of them, with a basket on the front. It's the big old tires with the metal piece, shield guard or whatever they're called, on the front and the back tires. To the right of me, it's a narrow kind of road, just big enough for two cars, if that. To the right of me, there's a small shed type house. It's condemned, it's boarded up, and there's a strip of caution tape across, like you don't enter. It's got a small, like the little cement porch with a couple steps up to it. It's very close to the road, like really, really close to the road. This porch has like the few beams that are holding up this little roof for it, and that's it. To the left of me, it's all woods. It's like a forest. About 5, maybe 10 feet from the road edge on that side is all of a tree line. The thing that catches me is there's a dead body there. There's a man with no clothes on. He's like decayed. He's laying there. He had, at one point while he was alive, he had dark hair, really dark hair, almost black, and it's buzzed off, buzz cut type. Younger guy, maybe between 20 and 30. He's laying on his left side, shoulder to the ground, with his neck bent so that his head is on the ground. He has a 5 o'clock type of shadow beard. His eyes are only sockets, almost like they were burnt out. They look like big black holes, both of them. And there's flies buzzing around the body and in and out of the eye sockets. As I'm riding up, he's on his right side, so his head is facing down from the angle from where I'm riding the bike from. And I quickly whiz past it, and somehow I know it's an infection, as if it's already something that's going on. It's an infection, and there's just bodies everywhere, and I think in my head at the time to go and report it. I'm seeing myself through maybe a younger girl riding a bike. I feel like maybe I have a dress on, like a summer dress or something, I'm not sure. But I know I felt like it was supposed to be me at first, but I'm probably seeing through someone else's eyes. Next scene I go into, I go from just getting past the body and thinking, oh my god, I gotta go tell somebody that there's another body laying out here. Like it's something normal, and you just gotta let them know so they can come get them. It's kind of awful. Next thing I know, I'm in a house. I feel like it's supposed to be my own house, and now I'm someone else. I'm not the same girl with the bike necessarily. I mean, as looks wise, it looks like a mother or grandmother, not grandmother, but like my age, like about 40s and 50s. I see myself, there's a lot of people around. I'm looking out of a picture window in like an off room to a front yard. It's a country place, and I see like a shed or barn type little metal, newer looking metal and wood barn. And it's a small one. It's short. I mean, it's not very tall. like a storage thing. And there's policemen out there. There's like 3 or 4 of them. They're smiling and laughing with this massive crowd of people that is going from one end of this like big open field with, I can see trees in the background and on both sides, but it's like thousands of people like just having a good time. It's the only way I can describe it. It's what it seems, how I felt it seemed. Like these cops were out there with them and they were all having a good time. The cops are in full gear. They have not riot gear on, but they have on, you can see that they have on their bulletproof vests, and they got their regular policeman hats on and their badges, the kind of policeman hat with the badge in the front, dark blue, the whole outfits. There's 3 or 4 of those guys out there. They are white cops. The crowd is mixed and mingled of all different races, and men, women, children. I see children in the house, very young to teenage. There's a little hallway like that goes into a back bedroom, and I'm going in to go to the bathroom. I'm going to go to the bathroom. That's how I see myself, is this person I'm seeing through is going back to go into the bathroom. And she goes in this room, and there's nobody in there. It's a small room because it's a small house. She goes to open the bathroom door, and out of the corner of her eye, she sees that dead body, and it's in her house now. It's inside of the house, laying same position, hasn't moved. But she is immediately frightened. Somehow this body with the hollowed out eyes is laying on her bedroom floor. So she turns and runs back out. Now, at this point, I see it's me yelling for my boyfriend because I'm calling his name. And everybody's being so noisy outside. There's a bunch of people on the inside, a bunch of people outside. I walk through this room, and there are people in the living room area. There's a living room, like couches, and then to the right of me, and there's a walk space straight over to the door. The kitchen is far ahead of me, just past this front door that's open, and there's a bunch of people on the porch. The porch is very small, and there's a bunch of people in there making a ton of noise, and so I'm yelling past them and I ask them to be quiet so I could get him to come in. And of course the police come in too, and they go back into this body that I'm like, this is infected body is in here. I don't know how it got here, and it's here, and I'm upset. And I could see myself from there's like the couches and stuff on the right hand side of me while I'm facing the front door, and to the left of me is a wooden dining table. It's like the kind with the leaf in the middle, with the thick pretty wood with the details on the side hanging down, and wooden chairs. There is like a runner on the table, a light colored cloth runner going from one end to the other, and there is, I think it looks like a potted plant, or like a pot with possibly fake flowers in it. I'm not sure, but that's what it feels like a big, like a centerpiece of fake or dried flowers. And there's children at the other end of the table, and they're drawing or something on they got a pad of paper in front of them. I don't know if it's a notepad or a drawing pad, but they're playing, basically. A couple different age children. One teenager I yell at to come back up the hallway because they're trying to go down there and look at the body, and I'm scared they're going to get infected, so I tell them to come back to where I was at. I don't think it was my child. Somehow there's just this teenager there. So I turn, and then I start feeling like there's something in my throat. It's scary. It's like, God, I've been feeling like this all day. That's how I'm thinking in my head, that this person is feeling like there's something in their throat. No matter how much they swallow or drink, they can't cough it up. It feels like something's stuck in there. It's like slightly stuck in there. They can breathe, but it's slightly stuck. Then I start feeling like I can't breathe. I start feeling like I'm very short of breath, even though I can talk. I take my left hand, I'm facing where the kids are at. They're still sitting there at the table, and I lean on the wooden table with my left palm of my hand, and I've got my hand on my throat with the other hand, and I'm like trying to tell. There's these three women. They look to be white women. I don't know their faces, but they somehow, it's like I knew them. I knew them. They were past co-workers or something, but I'm not sure. They seemed familiar, but their faces weren't familiar to me. And they're sitting on my couch, and they're like laughing and smirking, and like they don't believe that I really can't breathe. Literally, that's how it felt. It felt like they were mocking me and didn't believe me about being short of breath. This is where it gets, because now I'm the same person and I'm in a emergency room setting. Like I went to the hospital. It's chaos. I'm in a narrow hallway. I'm like in the middle of the hallway, but I mean middle length down the hallway with my back against a wall leaning because I'm short of breath. And there's hospital beds along the walls in the hallway. So I'm like standing right in between, kind of leaning on one of the beds, at the head of one of these stretchers, and the head is up a little bit. There's a man in that stretcher, and he's hacking out a lung, and he's like literally, there's blood, he's spitting up blood, and there's other people in the hallway doing the same, and there's a lady. I'm looking as I'm having a hard time breathing. Nobody can help me, and nobody's helping this man next to me, because there's like 3 hospital staff around this woman that's on a stretcher, but it's awful low to the ground. It wouldn't be that low to the ground, even if they didn't have room for them any more patients. It's kind of low to the ground. That's all I can say. It's like knee height to the ground. And this woman is on it, laying on her right side, and she's gagging and coughing, and she's bringing up hard material. I only way I can explain it is like cubes. They look like masses of stuck together, like little cubes of something like hard, and they're covered in blood and mucus. I know this sounds gross, but I have to tell it the way I saw it. Her head would be to the left of me. They're right in front of me, across the hall from me, but that's her feet are to my right, her head is to the left. She has dark hair, long dark hair that's just out and wild. She's wild. She can't breathe. She's clutching at everything, clutching at nursing staff. There's at least 3 nursing staff around her in lab coats and stuff, and they're holding one of those round metal basins like they use in autopsy rooms or in operating rooms to put hazardous material and waste in. But it's like a bedpan or like they're letting her vomit this out into it, and she can't breathe, and she's clutching, and she's probably on the verge of death, and they're trying to hold her down I'm thinking from my perspective they're trying to intubate her, and she's fighting it because she can't breathe. In the meantime, I can't breathe. And in the middle of this, I see a little vision about to the right of me. It's almost like on the movies when people have a bubble next to them. I see this a whole other dimension like open up right there in the hallway to the right of me. And I see 2 men walking, laughing, having a good time, near each other, no masks or anything like that, like there's no care in the world. And somehow I know one of them, and yet I know the other one got this disease and has died. And this other person that I know, or that is a family member, I'm telling them, are you sure you don't have it because you were just with him this morning? Just after that, I wake up, and it took me a while to get out of that feeling of the dream and how dramatic it was and how epic it was. and the not being able to breathe and all that, it really threw me for a loop. It wasn't long after that that I started seeing everything coming onto TV with the mass graves and all that stuff, and the chaos at the hospitals. So it was kind of odd that I dreamt it before it happened. So if this resonates with anyone, I'm kind of thinking it's a future event, because I believe in the pandemic. I know it's here and it's real. And there's a lot of people out there that don't believe it. And I believe those were the ladies on the couch. I believe that's why I dreamt it. I saw the entire pandemic in one instance and how bad it's going to get. It almost felt like end of days. And it was horrible. And people weren't social distancing. Nobody had masks on, and I felt like, I don't know, I felt like had went from not being in my house or this person's house. It was outside of the house. That's when she finds a body. And then with the body showing up inside the house, I feel like they didn't think that they were going to get it. It always feels like it's outside of your situation and it's not going to happen in your life, and then all of a sudden it's in your home and one of your family members has it, or someone close to you. That's how it felt. Like at first it was outside of the house, and even though I was aware of it, it was there, it was real, I didn't feel it inside my house till I saw the body in the house. And then I still seen people sitting on my couch, cackling, not believing that I was short of breath. So after that, I saw these video clips about these people. Mind you, I didn't have it before this dream. I had it after the dream, where I've seen, people are denying there's even, oh, it's a hoax and that. And I believe that it's going to be their downfall. I believe that that's a lot of people's downfalls with this pandemic. And they'll lose their lives or family members because they don't believe. I don't know if this resonates with anybody, or if you feel like how I'm interpreting it is that's the way the world kind of is today, then, leave a comment. Like, share, subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Until next time.